should down at the bottom of the screen.
Let's see.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, and well, good morning. Good afternoon, Andrea and Pat.
Hello.
Setta is here with us.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Angela. Crafty Crochet and Bible with Angela.
Okay.
And we got Pat Cray Hollis and Andrea from Granny Square. When they pop on, and I have a way, Setta, that I can put a comment up on the screen so you can see it.
Okay.
So I'll try to do that. Hi, Linda Simpson. She says, hi, patron Setta.
Hey.
Gina Barnett. Hello, Frenchie. That's Nancy's fiber files. Hello.
Hello,
I'm
everyone.
so glad to have everybody come in. I have a new friend, everybody. I got Setta in the house. Yay!
Hello.
Janine says hello. Hello from Saskatchewan, Canada. Canada in the house. Oh, Setta, I don't know if I ever told you. I am from, I lived for many years in Baltimore, Maryland. I lived in Baltimore. My ex worked in D.C. We traveled Virginia a lot.
Yay.
My brother lives in Virginia right now.
Oh, cool.
Denny says, oh, you have to read. Denny, she says, Setta. Oh, that's sweet. And Barbara Wriggle Baker, we call her Wriggles. Wriggles is in the house. Hello, honey. I met Barbara a couple weeks ago. She lives about 10 miles right down the street from me.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. Well, hello, everybody. I'm going to let everybody pop in and say hi to everybody else.
Okay.
Yes, Nancy, I figured out how to schedule and I did it. Yay. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, Denny says, oh, this is so sweet. Denny loves Setta. I know. She said, oh, I love myself some Denny. Hannah, hello. And Linda saying hi to everybody.
Hey, Linda.
Kathy Douglas. Hi,
hey,
Kathy. She says, hi, patron.
That's my girl.
I know. I love me some Kathy. She and I, we discovered this morning, okay, she and I could be twins. We definitely could be twins. Linda, thank you, Linda. This is my falling leaves tank that I did. Okay, this I have a book Setta. It's called 21 no, wait a minute. What's it called? Crochet Designs. I don't know. Yeah. It's a book by it's a book.
It's a book.
Thank you. Kathy says, you're beautiful, Petra. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, no. Kathy says I'm the ugly twin. No, that is not true. And Danny says both ladies. I know. We've got some beautiful designs here today. I'm so excited. Hi, Lynn. Lynn Como. I think Como. Setta. Oh, Kathy asks, Setta, how's your doggies?
Oh, they're doing good. I put them. They're out there. So if you hear them barking, you know they're.
You gotta let them in if they're barking.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little video showing all the puppies.
Oh, that's nice. Linda says, "How are you?" Setta, let her talk.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay. All right. So I want to get right into it.
Okay.
Oh, we've got so much ground to cover, and I hope I can get through everything. Setta, how long are you in Virginia? Danny wants to know.
To the end of July. So
the rest of the month. Katrina from Katrina's Crochet World. Hello. Lori Armstrong. Hello.
That sounds familiar.
Lori says, so excited to see Setta live.
Oh, Lori, yay! I got used to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do lives too often. I've only done a few with other people, but I have never done it myself. So
I know. It's, you know what, to me, it's like I love lives more than anything. I'd rather do a
okay.
live than
The
than
recording. I'm
filming.
the opposite. I rather record. I'm like,
No,
I
well,
get
see,
nervous with the live.
I don't edit Setta, so I
No,
just like hit the
let it
button
go.
and let it out in there, and whatever happens, happens. Seems. Oh, Kathy said it seems funny seeing Setta. Oh.
Yeah, because I don't do lives unless I'm invited like this. So.
Well, I am so glad. So Setta and I had a chance to talk a little bit before, well, yes, a little bit yesterday, and then a little bit before the live today, and we kind of got caught up a little bit, and that stuff is just between us.
Yes.
Yeah. And but there was one question that I had asked her that I told us I'm going to ask here. But how did you get into YouTube land? How did you come into YouTube land?
Well, as I always say, I thought it was my idea, but of course the Lord used it, and went, because I would just watch YouTube to do tutorials. I didn't even know that there was a community of awesome ladies and men, well, ladies and gentlemen, but I started watching and seeing people telling about their lives along with their crochet, and that's when I realized there's a yarn community of people that love to interact. So after a little bit, I was watching Krista, and I was just like, I think I can do that. I want to show my crochet, And it took me a little while to make myself, and then decide to do it, and I stopped. And I said, well, no. Then I said yes. Then I eventually went ahead and just did it. And so that's how I initially just got in. But as I started, just being myself, doing my videos, I realized that the Lord was using it as a ministry to pray with people, to help people, if people are in need or whatever. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I can do that.
Yes. It's like second nature, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like, I'm going to change the layout here. Hold on a minute. Okay. I'm going to do that. Okay, so you can see a little bit more of you.
Yeah. Okay. That's a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Jacqueline and Pat Dancer. Everybody's saying hello. Okay. So, all right. So was there like something that said, okay, today I'm going to hit that button and I'm going to, what was there, like something that said, I know I can do it. Today's the day. Bam. Okay. Was there like anything specific that prompted you to do it that day?
The day I picked was my birthday. So the 28th, June 28th, it was my birthday, and it was the first day of my first podcast. And it was neat. It was a new beginning, something I had never did before. And that is how that came to me, doing something on my birthday, starting a new chapter, right? New chapter. And that's how I picked my birthday and how it flowed that way.
Oh, that is really nice.
Yeah, so I was like, okay.
Oh, that's nice. Trudy is in South Africa, and she says she's going to watch the replay because she's in bed already.
Oh, okay. All right, Trudy.
Hi, Mama Kay, and let's see who else popped in. I saw Mama Kay and Trudy popped in. Jacqueline says she likes your top, Setta.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Have you on your channel ever talked about where your love of crochet came from? Where did you start crocheting? How did that start?
Actually, when I was young in younger teenage years, I was always crafty, and I had friends. Both of us were crafty. We weren't the normal teenagers, girls.
Yeah.
We would do crafts, and she taught me how to crochet, and just the simple stuff. I mean, I did blankets, and that was just what we did together, was crochet. And then I stopped for after a while, because you go on to other things. Then as a young adult, I started making blankets again for, grandmothers and blah, 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 like that kind of thing. Popcorn blankets were my specialty. Everybody got a popcorn blanket.
Oh, you
King
did
size.
pop. That is
Yeah,
really a
this
big
is one right
thing.
here. This is one I made for myself, but
Oh,
I made king
and it's
size, queen
purple.
size popcorn
It's
blanket.
purple.
Yes.
What yarn did you use? What yarn did you use for that one?
I can't remember. I think this is Red Heart, because this is Red Heart right here, the gray. So I think this is Red Heart. I can't remember.
Right.
So it was years ago. I made
okay.
This. And that's how I got started. And then you stop again, life and doing whatever. And then literally about 5 years ago, I've been on YouTube 3. So about 5 years ago, I just started like, I want to make a hat. I hadn't done hats and scarves, only did blankets. Got on there looking for tutorials, and then I already told you started tutorials, and then that started the yarn.
Right. Right. Crystal from Ricola Crochet Corner, she says she's at work, so she can't stay. But she says it's nice to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for dropping in.
And Melissa from Crochet. Yay, I love it. So Crochet in Agreement, Melissa's here. She says, hey. Okay, so did your friend actually teach you how to crochet?
Yeah, the actual, actually doing the actual learnings. I had never done it before. And we just started, and that was it. You did the simple stuff, because like I said, all I did was one stitch,
Across, back and forth, back and
forth, and then
right
popcorn, and that was it. And so that's why everybody got that, because that's all I knew how to do.
Now, what did your family think? Did you grow up with your mom and dad?
My mom and dad, they got divorced when I was younger, so it was just my mom, and she worked, so I was with friends a lot. So
okay.
But she crocheted too, but she doesn't know a whole lot. So, but they were fine with it. They did my crochet.
They supported you. Did they buy you yarn? Did she buy you yarn?
Yeah, I was the baby, so I got.
Aww.
I was just a little spoiled. I wasn't
just a little bit spoiled. Yay, Carolyn. Carolyn Cartwright said, yay, almost missed it. No, you're right here. Andrea from Granny Square says, I've been seeing you for a few years. I love you.
Thank you. Granny Square, I like that.
Yeah, Gwenny. Yeah, that's what her kids call her, Gwenny. Hi, Diane Sharp. She wants to know how your visit is going with your son.
It's going awesome. I love my baby. We're having a good time. And him
hey,
with the puppies,
look here.
Oh,
hi, Pedro. I said I love you.
Hi, Crystal.
Thank you so much, Crystal. That's so very sweet. Thank you so much. We love you too.
Hey,
Reggie from J-Hook. And Heather says, hi, patron, instead of driving to Goodwill to drop off some yarn.
So listening early. Hello, Heather.
Oh, that is so sweet. I'm so glad everybody was able to join.
Yes.
Okay. This is not going to be in any order, but this has been interesting. So I wanted to ask you, how has your crochet, the side of your life, changed since you moved to Alaska?
How has it changed?
Yeah.
Actually, it's just increased. The quality, the quantity.
Yeah. The quantity increased.
And because now it's like a full time, because before, when I was here before, I worked the child care, I was a nanny, and I did, elderly care, and then I took care of my mom and all that, along with but now YouTube is my job,
your work,
my work, or my and my ministry, all in one.
Right.
So yeah, and he designed it that way. So I was like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna trust you. You'll do it,
yeah. Well, do you find yourself making more like warm weather clothes than cold weather? I mean, like to keep warm.
Yeah. Actually, as you see, the fan. I do this in Alaska too.
Oh,
I wear the same things.
The same thing.
I get hot, so I still wear like these short sleeves in Alaska, and even if it's fall or even sometime in the winter.
Wow.
I know.
You got those hot flashes going on, huh?
So And then it hasn't
Yeah.
really changed a lot. Of course, I make the hats and everything for when you go out and you're out for a while. But just normal wear, it's like
Yeah.
it's still this kind of stuff.
Well, now, do you find yourself going back to your roots and doing more blankets now?
No, actually, I haven't. I have a plan to make a blanket that I really really want, but it's like I with the channel, I just don't have time to make that big of a thing anymore.
Right.
And because I have so many ideas and things that I want to do for the channel, so but I'm trying to get more organized where I can do more things like that, and it's coming together. It's coming together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, slowly, right? Like you were
yeah,
telling me before,
slowly.
little pieces at a time, right?
Yeah, because I see all these awesome things I want to make, and then I want to design a few things, and it's like, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So, would you say would you say that crochet has changed your life?
Definitely.
Tell me how.
It'll sound crazy, but
No.
it really was that because before, even before YouTube, before I was doing YouTube, the Lord kind of gave me an inkling that crochet and travel and things like that would be a part of my life. And I'm like, how are you crocheting travel and YouTube? I just did. But now I see how he's doing this, and he used crochet for me to meet this community of people.
Right.
And in the ministry, I go and I can help or just be a company or a comfort to people, to the people here, whether it's through the camera or if he sends me to them.
Right.
And we crochet, we cry together, we laugh together, if there's something I can do to help them, I help them or whatever. And then he's the next person or praying for people. And he used crochet to knit that together.
Yeah, yeah,
To
I love
stitch that
it.
together.
I
And
love it.
oh, hey
There,
Laura.
she said, "Set up so sad that you weren't in Wasilla when I was there."
I know I missed her again. Well, I got to see her for a little bit last time, but man.
Yeah.
Miss Laura.
And Melissa said, "I've actually got my Setta shirt on right now."
Yay!
Yay! So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love that. Oh, look, she says, "Oh, wait a minute here. I
Uh-huh.
love that Setta. I love that Setta. You crochet to
To
knit."
knit. Yes, to knit it together.
Yeah.
I've been doing a little bit of knitting. I've been
Have
practicing.
you? Have
Yes.
you?
Yes.
Okay. Are you teaching yourself?
Yeah, basically through YouTube channel,
Oh,
people on
yeah, yeah.
YouTube. Yeah. Just a
Uh-huh.
little.
Yeah. Hi, Jody. So, okay, let me see here. Okay, you've got a couple of
Mhm,
patterns, like a
mhm.
handful of patterns that
Yeah.
you've done. What is your process? I mean, how do you say, you know,
Mhm.
oh, this could be a great pattern? What do you do? Walk me
Um,
through how you
the
go through it.
process. Well,
Yeah.
normally, it's out of necessity. Usually, it's something I want for myself because I have a different shape. I Even though you have a regular pattern, I usually have to modify it because my shape is different or the size is. Even though you can change sizes, but the shape is different some ways.
Uh-huh.
So I have to figure out how can I modify something that looks right on me and the way I like it to fit me, but also
Hmm.
someone else, if they aren't shaped like me, can still use it. So that's how I start thinking about whatever it is I'm looking for, whether it's a cardigan, whether it's a summer top, whether it's a, whatever. And then, you get inspiration, you watch other people and you like, I like how that shape is on that person. I'm not taking what they did. I just take that
Right.
shape.
The shape, right.
And then
Hmm.
like, okay, then I sit and I draw it out how I want it to look and then I erase, use pencil because I want to erase, and then I just kind of
Yeah.
formulate it that way.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I know people might think I'm crazy. There are a few things that the Lord has given me, either a particular stitch or how it's going to look, like this is how that thing looks, and then I can take that and I go with it.
Hmm.
So and But he does.
Yeah, I know. So then, okay, so do you create it
Mhm.
and then write it down, or write
Mhm.
it down as
Oh,
you're crocheting it?
I guess I'm a crochet at create at the same time.
Okay.
I draw it out and then I start crocheting it and I'm like, well, no, I pull that and then I change it to this and I'm like, okay, I like that. And then you do it and like that, I like that, keep doing it, or then take that out and then write down and check my changes as I'm writing it as I'm drawing it out.
Right.
And then when I go to make it, if I'm going to put it as a pattern like to sell or to give out, then I have to write it out so people can understand it and make sure it's,
Right.
you know,
Right.
that kind of
Now, um, um, I forget what I was, doggone it. I had a thought, I can't remember it. Um, um, oh well, if it comes to me, if it
Okay.
doesn't, it doesn't. It's all right. Um, are there certain, do you have any favorites? Do you have
Mhm,
like some favorites, like either a favorite yarn, a favorite
mhm.
hook, a favorite pattern, any favorites that
Favorites.
like are
Mhm.
go-to?
Well, my favorite hook is my clover. I love my clovers, and I like the
Okay.
feel of the hook, the steel part or whatever it's made out of. The way
Mm-hmm.
that feels on the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
That's my, and I like the way it's shaped. So I like my clovers, and I love like latte cakes, and I like I just love so many.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and I like carrying cotton cakes for cotton wear for wearing stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
love making stuff out of carrying cotton cakes. Um, I love blanket yarn because I love making the thick yarns. You know, the big blankets out of those,
Mm-hmm.
and I love
Mm-hmm.
using the big hook. You know, the 8, 9, and the 10. The eight's my favorite when it comes to the big projects.
Right.
6, between the 5 and the 6 is I like for regular stuff.
Okay.
I'm not into the small stuff,
I was just gonna ask
but
you, you don't sound like a
things are changing. I'm finding myself getting more of the thin yarn. And I'm like, am I crazy? What's happening?
I know, but there's something about it. There is something about the young, excuse me, about the thin yarns. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so dainty, and you feel almost, I
Yeah.
don't know, you
Mm-hmm.
feel kind of I feel kind of special
Special.
using it. Like it's a special kind of yarn.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
a lot of the hand dyed yarn is the number
It's
one
thinner.
weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you're
Or a
almost
lightweight
having
3 or
to,
something or 3.
it's
Mm-hmm.
it's oh, oh come on. Look here. Look what
Orange is your favorite
Laura
color.
says.
Go. Yes,
Go
it
orange.
is. Orange is my second favorite. Purple, orange, and gray.
Team
Yes.
orange.
Freaking some
Okay, wanting to work
cotton.
with some number two cotton.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, come on here. Everybody's saying they love their
Mhm.
clover hooks too. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
See,
And I'm
I
finding that I'm liking the thinner yarn with the knitting, practicing with knitting. The thinner
ah,
yarn just feels good with it. So I'm like, oh,
yeah, you might be into something now.
yeah.
So people were talking about their favorite colors, and we all know that our favorite color is
It's
purple. And
purple.
we got so many people who are our
Purple
colors
people.
purple. Um,
Mhm.
so oh, I know what I was going to ask you about the writing process.
Uh-huh.
When you're doing it, when you're writing out a pattern, if you're
Mhm.
creating a pattern, do you have other things going at the same time, or do
Mhm.
you just try to focus on that one?
Well, in the designing, I usually do one design at a time. I can't do multiples with that, but I can I have whip bags galore. I got all kinds of projects started or working on. But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to design, I usually do that one thing, and I use that and I until it's finished, or even if I don't write it out or even make it, as long as I draw it out and have it the way I want to look,
Right.
then I can move on to something else if I wanted to do it more in one. But no, usually
Yeah.
one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have startitis?
Startitis? You mean like getting started or?
Yeah, you start a lot of things and you got a lot of things started, but just have a
Yes.
hard time finishing it.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. And then it's like you make yourself sit down and finish. I'm going to finish this item. I'm not going to do nothing else until this is finished because you got so many.
Oh gosh, I can't do that.
I
So
do.
yes,
I do it.
somebody else is here new to I've
Hmm.
not seen an
Alaskan
Alaskan
crafter.
crafter. She
That's
likes
beautiful.
blue too. Apparently you like blue, Setta, right?
Oh,
Do you like
I like
blue?
some blue. I like some blue.
Oh, look here. Before you know it, Setta, you'll be knitting
Knitting socks.
socks.
That's right. I do have. It's on my bucket list. I didn't put it on my actual bucket list. I don't think, but I do want to knit a pair of socks.
Diane wants to know what was the first thing you made?
It had to be a blanket. It must have been a small blanket. So I don't think I did a big blanket.
Uh-huh.
Back when I was
Back
young.
in the day.
That
But the first thing you designed, though, wasn't it like a poncho or a top of some
my
kind?
first design, was it a cardigan or was it the summer top? What was first? I can't remember. Was it? No, it wasn't
I
the summer top.
remember
It wasn't
something
first.
you made. Something you made. I remember this was like almost 2 years, about 2 years
Was it the
ago. You
cardigan?
made. I think it was like a top. You said
Mm-hmm.
because you couldn't find something that you liked and you wanted
Mm-hmm.
to design something. It was.
Yeah,
I can't remember if it was
that's
a
that is
pont.
summer top, but I did not do that until. Did I do that first? I think I did something else before I did that because I didn't write it down as I was doing it. So a
Uh-huh.
friend of mine, Lenore, helped me. She wrote it out for me by surprise, by watching my tutorial. She wrote it
Yeah.
out for me. So that was
Uh-huh.
later. So my
Yeah.
first thing, I think the cardigan was first.
Oh,
I have to go
interesting.
back and look and see what I did.
Is that the one with the pockets? Is that the one with the pockets?
I think I did the New Beginnings. Did I do the New Beginnings one first? Isn't that terrible? I don't remember.
No, I
I
don't
have to go
know.
back and see when I did what.
Laura said thin yarns are her favorite.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I do love thin yarn. I love working with thin yarns. And Marina said,
Mhm.
oh, wait a minute. I think you did Debbie's cowl first. Well,
Yes, yes. Thank you.
but when we were
The neck
talking
warmer.
about designing though, I think
Yeah, that was my first design. That was my first, the Debbie neck warmer.
yeah. So, and Marina says, hello, Petra and Setta.
Hello.
Let's see here.
Yes, that
Okay,
was
wait a
it.
minute. So, an Alaskan Craft channel name change.
Oh,
Okay, so what are you now? I mean, what were you?
what were you? So we know who.
Who? Wait a minute.
Is it Jan? Are you Jan? It's not. No, she better
Yeah,
tell me.
Jan. It is. It
It's
is. Yeah,
Jan.
Jan
Hey.
changed her name. Hi, Jan. Okay, so let's see here. This is Jan, Alaskan Jan.
Yay!
Yeah, the whipitis. Oh, that's cute. Melissa said it's
Rhinitis.
called whipitis. Yeah.
I definitely suffer from that. I have. That's why I love project bags. It's got them full of whips.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's a practical question I got.
Okay.
So, hi Jill, Fiber Floozy. Jill is
Oh,
in the house.
hey, Jill.
Once you got to Alaska,
Uh-huh.
did you ever say to yourself, if I ever have to sit in a car that long again, it's gonna be too soon?
Actually, I did not. I I I don't like to drive. I know. That's how you know it's a God thing because He has you do
Right,
things you don't like to do or out of your comfort
right,
zone.
right.
But I enjoyed that trip. I really did. It was beautiful, and especially the flat, straight. Like Kansas, I love Kansas. So Kansas
Really?
is a straight and flat.
Yeah. I heard that Nebraska's the same way.
Yeah, yes. Nebraska
Kansas
was
and
a nice
Nebraska are flat.
flat and just you just
Hmm.
drive and it's beautiful. But
Really? Now, some people that's the worst part for them.
yeah,
Most
everybody
people
hates
like,
that part. I
yeah,
loved it.
you like,
I
well,
liked it.
that way you don't have to worry about swerving off the road. You just go
Yeah,
straight.
traffic. It's just go this way and that way. It's no city traffic
Right,
and all that. So that was my
right.
worst fear was the city parts of the driving. But the Lord did it. He handled it. I was like, okay.
What are some of the major cities you had to go through?
Um, I don't know, but for me, when I went through, was it Illinois? Illinois. that one.
You
It was
went
so.
around you went
I don't.
around Chicago, didn't you?
I'm not sure what part. I just know it was Illinois, and it was such a. I was like, oh my goodness! I was, I just stayed right in front of where I was going and kept it moving because it was so much, and I
Yeah.
was afraid. I was like, And then another scary one like that was it Portland? Portland? Portland, Oregon? No,
In
no, not
Oregon?
Portland, not Portland, no, not Oregon. Oh, what was it? I can see
Was
it, but I just can't think of it. But it was like it was out
what
of sight. It was
state?
like,
What
huh?
state was it in? What state was it in?
It was after California. What's after California? Coming up.
Or Oregon?
It wasn't Oregon, though. I didn't mind Oregon because that's the mountains. I didn't mind the mountains.
But you'd probably have to go through
Portland.
Portland, and then there's Seattle in Washington.
Oh, I can't remember. Washington was fine. Maybe it was. Oh, I can't remember right now.
But it
It's
was
where
bad.
I stopped. It's where it might be Portland. But anyway, it was one of those, and I was going to stay in that place. It's been a night to drive. I said I'm staying up. I'm getting through here because it was too. Oh, it was like out of a science fiction movie. You know, like
Oh
futuristic
my.
to me.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
oh my goodness, I can't get in that.
Yeah.
I had to get through and get out.
Right.
It's scary.
Right. So, yeah. So
I
wanted to talk a little bit about that. About that trip that you took.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read the question because I don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
One thing I so admire about you, something many admire, is your courage.
Oh.
I realize it's obedience, but I know it took courage to leave all that you knew, including friends and loved ones. Mm-hmm. Did you ever wonder if you were like Abraham?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It is funny that you use that one because I had this devotional that I was using right before I started called The Adventure in a Book, and it's a devotional. And I used that, and the Lord spoke to me through those devotionals, and the verses from Abraham were a lot of the ones that he used. And I literally was going almost day by day or week by week of, okay, is it time to go now? It wasn't like I had to set, I'm doing it on this day. Well, I did, but he changed it.
Right.
And the scripture he used that confirmed for me that it was time, it was the day to leave, was the one where he tells Abraham to leave his family and go to a place that he doesn't know.
He will show him. Yeah, that he will show him. Yeah.
And Abraham's like, well, where to go? You just go. And
that's right.
And
I know.
He gave me the morning I left. I said, okay, okay, Lord. I got
well, how did you know which direction to go in?
You just had like Google. I Googled Alaska. I did.
So you're in Missouri, or you're in Illinois, and you're staying overnight, and you're not feeling any direction to go anywhere. So you're sitting there in your PJs going, okay, is today the day?
Yeah.
And he says, yep, today's the day. Get in your car and go. Well, okay, I'm going to get in my car. Do you just head towards Alaska? And if he shows you a different route, you just go that route?
I literally just, whatever Google said, that's the way I went. And unless someone, sometimes I met some of the subscribers and other podcasters along the way, and they contacted me through email and said, if you're coming through this, whatever, and I made a meet up with them. I veered off, and I met up with Dizzy Stitches in Kansas, and stuff like that. But I'd meet up with them. I'd have, and then whatever Google said from there, head to Alaska. That's the next place I went. That's the direction I went.
Right.
And that's literally how I did the whole trip. And it's nobody could have done it. That's why.
I know.
That's why.
And those that that aren't comfortable with that, and they're not used to doing that.
Yeah.
It sounds, I mean,
crazy.
Yeah. But for some of us, I do get that. And one of the things that I know a lot of people struggle with, and that's the idea being married, not married, all that it's like, well, when you're single, you can do stuff like that.
You can just get in the car and drive to Alaska.
Yeah. You can. Yeah, you can. But it's like I feel like there were times, and I used to be a writer, writing, and I wanted to travel, just get an RV and just go and just stop wherever the Lord stops me, and just sit down and write and crochet and write and crochet and all. Melissa says I'm imagining a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night ahead of her car. Yeah. So cool, yes. Hi, Belinda. But that unless the Lord leads you both, that ain't going to happen.
Exactly.
So you have to be obedient to Him. If you're not, it's going to make. Now, let me ask you this: were there ever any times in your travels that you decide, I'm going to do this, and He allowed you to do it, and then you went, oh, that was a mistake, I should not have done that?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about it? Us? Hey, it's just between you and me, Setta. Nobody else is there.
Nobody else to know. No, I had a big, when I was in Colorado, and that's where my friends live, and I stayed with them. So I got to get a good rest, because I literally drove straight from Virginia to Colorado. I mean, I did like 3 days, because I was like,
I could just see it. Yeah.
And it was a good trip, but I was wore out, and He wanted me to rest, but I was being anxious, because I'm like, okay, Lord, what's next? And I was nervous, because I knew city life was coming up next, the next one, or I thought anyway. But He wanted me to rest, and I was trying to go, so He had to sit me down. Okay, I'm telling you to rest and wait. So I finally listened, and I finally got it to rest, and I stayed there for about a month. I went up to Nebraska to see Elizabeth. Then I came back to Colorado, stayed for another week. Then I headed out. It was time. Then it was like, now it's time. Okay. Then I hit the road again.
Yeah.
And what was the original question?
Now that what if you did something on your own instead of listening? Yeah.
And that was the major thing I did. I was trying to force my timing.
Yeah.
But I had to listen, because He needed it to be.
You were thinking about the destination.
Yes.
And God was more concerned about your journey.
That's exactly what He gave me. He says it's about the journey, not the destination.
Right.
That's literally what He told me. I was like, oh, okay. And I got to meet people in between, awesome subscribers and other podcasters. And some people let me stay with them. Never, all they know me from is here, and they let me stay at their house.
Yeah.
Kendall, y'all know Kendall, that her husband, he's a hoot.
Yeah.
They let me stay there. Z just came. She took care of me. She fed me.
Yeah. Now, wasn't wasn't there a time where you got sick?
Yes, that was when I was in Colorado. Yeah, and that's how He sat me down. And you have to be careful when you tell people that, because they'll think, well, God doesn't make you sick. No, He didn't make me sick. He used something to get you to where He to get me to settle down and just wait and hear from Him before I try to make the next decision on my own.
Yeah.
So He didn't make it happen. He just, okay, this is what's going to happen. So I'll allow that to get her to settle down and right. I'm human. I excited.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I doing?
Yeah. So Daniel from Paul Ply Yarns.
Oh,
Paul
hey,
Ply guys popped in. Hello. There Crochet and Melissa says there was a medical incident too, right? I can't remember the details. Was that the same time?
Yeah, I went to actually I fell up some steps, and
Oh,
then my
yes.
sciatica, and I had to rest it before I could go driving again, and that was
Uh-huh.
all that in there. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, I remember there was a time, this was many, many moons ago, but the Lord wanted me to settle down and be
Mm-hmm.
quiet with my kids when they were little. And I just kept going, 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 going. And I don't know what happened, but I threw my back out.
Mm-hmm.
And he put me flat on my back
Now you're
on
gonna
the
rest.
living room in the middle,
Yeah.
and painkillers, and I was there, and I was like, okay, kids.
I'm here.
I was- I'm here for you. What do you want? I might be half asleep, but I'm here. But you're right. He will use circumstances to
You will use
bring you
this,
to where he needs you to be.
and for you, and sometimes he knows what we need to listen, because we
Yeah.
get so busy, we get so,
Yeah.
and it's like, just listen, hold on,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Be patient. Be
be
patient. Be
patient.
patient.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
okay. So, how do you balance life,
Mhm.
faith, and your crochet and your
Mhm.
YouTube? How do you balance it?
um it's one of those things that, with my journey with the Lord, my growing through the faith with my faith, and growing that relationship with him, it he worked it to where it just flows naturally now. Before, in the past, like 10 years ago, whatever, you get overly excited and you what or whatever. But now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, Lord, I'm ready. I trust him. That's the biggest thing. Trust. Even if it doesn't look like what I think it should look, it's like, but he knows what he's doing. So just wait, and it'll work out, or it'll happen.
Right.
And it always says he's got your back, no matter, how it's going to look. Because
Right.
he never said it was going to be easy. He said, I'll be there when it's not. He didn't say it's not going to be.
Right.
So
Right.
he said, I'll be there with you when things
Okay.
happen, not if it
Yeah.
happens.
Do
And
you keep a calendar?
mhm. Of like,
Like when
mhm.
like for like saying, okay, I need to prioritize certain
Mhm.
things on certain days,
Yeah,
or is
I
that
do.
fluid, or is that fluid too?
I have the YouTube calendar, like, where I keep everything, like the videos I'm gonna do, when I'm gonna do, who I'm meeting up with, and things like that. And um, he kind of dictates, like, me coming here. I waited till he said it's time to come. The last time I came and he said it's time to come. And people might think that's crazy, because, like, well, you make your own decisions, but I want to be in his will, and it's his will, his timing, and he knows when it's best to do, and so that's where I'm at right now. And
Right.
I
Right.
like that, because it's like he's for me, so why not let him? Okay, now it's time to go, and so
Right.
I kept saying, well, I want to go, and blah blah blah, but when he said it was time, I was like, okay, now I can go.
Yeah, exactly. And
So
Marina
he
says
does the
that's
schedule.
God is needing me somewhere else. I put it all in his hands, Marina said,
Yes.
and that's exactly what you need to do.
Hmm.
You have
Yeah.
to do that. That's the only way to do it.
Okay. Now
If you
I am
try it your
human.
own way,
Yeah, yeah, I am human. I'm trying my own way, but not even, not consciously. Sometimes you just get into yourself, or you get busy and you want to, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and he just, and that's where okay, Lord, okay, I'm settled down. Is there something particular you want me to do a different way, or, and that's, and it happens that way, and it always works. He's just such good. He's so good.
yes, yes,
And yeah.
yes. So, Chloe just joined in and she said, "What are you ladies talking about?" Well, Chloe, let me introduce to you Setta. Setta lives.
Hello.
She lives in Alaska, but she's visiting the lower 48
Yeah.
for the month, and
Mhm.
so She is joining me today, and we're talking about her crochet journey, her journey within her faith, her journey in life, and how all of it's working together.
Yeah.
That's basic, right, Setta?
Yep, that's basically what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Now, it's not easy though. I mean, this life that you have um you're walking now, this
Mm-hmm.
journey that you're on, it's
Yeah.
not easy. And a lot of people would say, okay, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
why would you leave your son? He's there. Why would you
Mm-hmm.
leave them? Then people would say, well, why did you drive if you were supposed to go to Alaska? Why didn't you just take a plane and just get a
Yeah.
U-Haul and shove everything in there and drive it up?
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's not easy
Mm-hmm.
um, listening.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to put yourself in a position to listen,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to prioritize
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
How do you deliberately prioritize in the mornings to say, this is what I'm supposed to do, and this is where I'm going to go until, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, like when it comes to the flying or the driving thing, I at first when I knew I would be going to be, I was like, okay, I got confirmed that I will be going to Alaska. It's time to move to Alaska. I was going to fly. I planned on that. I was like, okay, Lord, what are you thinking? How I'm just sitting talking to the Lord while I'm eating some lunch or something, and He says, you're going to drive. And I'm like, you want me to drive? It wasn't my idea.
Yeah.
and but I did,
I
and I
remember
listened.
when you talked about all
Yeah,
that in your
yes,
videos. We're
I
like,
have a
no,
video
no.
explaining all that. Yeah.
I
So
remember that.
and as far as like leaving my family, it's a trust thing. I trust the Lord that He had it.
Right.
My son, I know I talked about my son like he's 18 or 12, 16 or
Yeah.
something. Like my little boy, he's 35 years old, 36. So he's a
Yeah.
grown man, and I miss him dearly when I'm gone. But I came back. I can
Yeah.
get a plane to come back to visit, and
Right.
so and I trust the Lord. That was the main thing, and I knew if He's telling me to do this, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, has he made any plans to come up and visit you?
We talked about it a little bit, but because he's been to Alaska, he went when he was a teenager. He lived, go up to grandma and mom and dad both lived there then. So he's
Uh-huh.
more of an Alaskan than I am because he was every summer he'd go to be with my
Oh.
dad and
Uh-huh.
all that kind of stuff. He learned to drive in Alaska, got his license there, so he's been there before. Then he's visited
Okay.
in between. So
Uh-huh.
but yeah, he'll come up, when the time is work and everything. He'll come up and
Right.
visit me some.
Um, now when
Uh-huh.
you finally figured out, okay, I gotta drive, did you have to get a passport? I mean, what did you do in
Um,
preparation to
uh, well,
get
yeah, I did have to have a passport, but I already
okay.
had it because the Lord prepared me years before that, and He had me get a passport, and I'm like, okay, and that was back when I had no idea of anything. I just obeyed back then, and I had it, so I was ready. Had the
Huh.
passport.
But you didn't know why
Mm-mm.
you didn't
Didn't
know
know
why?
didn't know why. I just said okay, and I had it, so I didn't have to do none of that preparation. I knew exactly where it was and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's yeah. Yeah, I got my passport and it was like I know, I mean, I got it because I was going overseas and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I
Do it.
want,
Yeah.
let's go. And
Mm-hmm.
it was really kind of like scary because
Mm-hmm.
now but now you know what it is. It's got okay, it expires. So I better
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I don't want to have to
I
get
got to
caught.
go now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Um what are some of your highlights of your trip across
Mm-hmm.
the country? What are a couple of your highlights? Even
Hmm.
if they were just like not necessarily something big, but something you remember, like, I remember feeling this way, or I remember the Lord spoke to me in that place, or
Hmm.
little things like that.
Yeah, there were so many of those little times like that, and there were a lot of times of amazement, and I could not believe while I'm driving down this, and it's just me basically, and it's going out. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm doing this, and it was awesome. I had a bunch of those, and I would just get out and look around like, wow, and then of course meeting people, and the graciousness of people who never really met me, and they're like, you come to my house and you stay here on your trip, and it was just it was like I knew them forever.
Yeah.
And then but the most in Canada, when I was in Canada, that was part of the video I did too. That mountain, oh my goodness. And it had
Oh.
just started, the weather started getting bad,
Uh-huh.
and that was another level of a thing with the Lord, another level of me and him and trusting him. Because,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't tell everyone while it was happening, so I don't want people to worry, but
Yeah.
there was that mountain, there was, oh my goodness, with snow on
Yeah.
it. If it was
Yeah.
just regular, it'd been bad enough, but it was snow and ice.
Yeah.
And
And that was an
yeah,
all God thing.
yes, it was totally every,
Yeah. So
yeah.
Samantha, she says that yarn behind you is so beautiful.
Thank you. I received that as a gift from Dory. I met up with Dory. She drove from Norfolk to come and see me. We hung out, and this is all the beautiful yarn she gave me, along with my purple fan and
I
some
love
other
that
goodies.
fan. I love the
But thank you. It's,
fan.
it's all shades of purple and cotton and
Yeah.
regular. Isn't
That's
that
the
awesome?
best kind,
Yes.
purple.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, so let me see here. I think I only have a couple more, like,
Okay.
just quick questions, because I already asked you that one. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Your trip was filled with ups and downs, and you were vulnerable to share everything with us. I
Mhm.
imagine there were times you cried and asked God, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you get through some of those darker times?
um, when I was in Canada, when I got that mountain, because it actually was two-part mountain. The first part, and then I knew I had to finish it, and that was the hardest. That was the hardest, and the scariest, because and it was just all just trust. I know I keep saying that, but just trusting him that he had it. He did not bring me that far to let me go off the side of a mountain. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
he had a purpose for me, and I had to trust that I was going to make it okay. And
Mm-hmm.
if Laura is still here, my Alaskan angel, she drove all the way from North Pole to Tok, Alaska, to meet up with me. And so I was going to Tok to meet her because I knew she was coming, because she helped me through all that directional thing and all that.
Right.
And when I pulled up, and when I saw Laura, she was standing. I'm sorry, I'm going to cry. When I saw her, I just started crying. It all just came out. I bet you thought it was crazy.
No,
Because all the
no.
stress of that
It's
mountain,
overwhelming.
and that mountain just, oh my goodness. And I saw her, and I just bust out crying. But and then she took care of me. She fed me, and and,
Yeah.
so, and we talked, that night, because she just took care of me, sent me on my way the next day, and I do appreciate.
Yeah. We and isn't it wonderful how God uses other people to
Hmm.
just bring them into our life just when we need them.
Yes, yes. Because she didn't have, that was like, I don't know, 5-hour drive, I think, for her just to come to
Yeah.
meet me. So he used
Yeah.
her to bless me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so
And that's such a wonderful memory that,
yes,
that means more to you than so many other things.
yes,
Um,
definitely.
I do understand that. Um, so
Sorry.
what, okay, this is the last question I have for
Okay.
you. And this is perfect timing because we got 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Um, what do you consider to be success?
Oh, what do I consider?
Oh, look, I have to show you this first.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
She is a gem, a gem,
Yes,
gem, gem.
she is.
Yes.
um, um, what do I consider to be a success? If this journey that I was on, the YouTube journey and the ministry and all of this, if I had just helped each just one person get through something, then that's a success. And that's
Hmm.
for real. It's not just I'm not just saying that because most but
Yeah.
and I feel like I might people have said and I think that has happened, and I'm so glad I could be in a part of that for them,
Yeah.
and I'm going to continue to do that and be
And
that for people.
that's amazing. It's it's uh, um it's humility. It's like putting others' needs
Mhm.
ahead of your own, but
Yes.
knowing that God has put you in a this position to be
Mhm.
able
Mhm. To do that.
to do, yeah.
Yeah.
And that without him, like this, like I told you, I shared with you this morning, somebody,
Mhm.
a couple people said, you just be you, you just do you,
Just do you.
and just do you. And a friend of mine, you do you, boo. And Joe from Joe's Web would say that.
Yeah.
But they uh I sometimes it's hard to know, okay, well, what is that particular thing? What is
Yeah.
that thing that sets you apart, that makes you different from everybody else, that makes
Yeah.
you the person that people will drive to, not just because you're a superstar, no, but it's because of your spirit, right? And a lot of people
Thank
are
you.
the same way about Crystal from Bag of Day.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
the same way. She is like,
Mm-hmm.
she's so generous and giving and
Mm-hmm.
loving and
It's
caring,
from her
and
heart. Yes.
it's from her heart. and
Mm-hmm.
and people go to her, and not because she's a superstar, but
Mm-hmm.
because she is a real person who is
Yes.
generous. It's her spirit that draws her. That's
Exactly.
what sets her apart. And a lot of people have told me that that's why they watch me, is
Mm-hmm.
because I'm real.
Yeah.
I'm just open. I'm just a real person. I just lay it out there, and
Yeah. This.
the good, the bad, and the ugly, just get it
Yes.
out
The good, the
there,
bad, the ugly.
and that's okay. And because you're humble in that way, and you don't ever put yourself. Setta, I've seen your journey. I watched
Uh-huh.
from the time you were like debating, sitting there in, coming back from your
Mm-hmm.
job,
Mm-hmm.
and watching the kids, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know about this. I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
And the days that got a little bit easier, and you got more
Mm-hmm.
affirmations,
Yeah.
and that whole journey that you took, and it was like we saw how trepidatious you were at first about the actual driving part, and
Yeah, that
how
woo,
you wanted to get there, and
you just get
buying the
there.
new yeah, buying the new vehicle,
Yes,
and
how that was another miracle right there, the way that
eh,
happened.
there's Trisha from Mama Swift come in. Hello,
Hey, Mama
hello.
Swift.
Chloe, I live in Kentucky, and let's see here, who else come in. Setta's blessed me in so many ways, Laura said. Yes,
Oh,
she's blessed so
oh.
many in so many ways. Yes. Things that, a lot of people tell you how how you've blessed them, and if there's a lot of people probably that have never said anything to you that you've blessed, and
Yeah, I hope so. That
yeah,
I've done something to help someone, you
yeah.
know.
Um, Mama Kay says people can spot those who are authentic and
Oh,
those who aren't. That's why we love Petra Settle. Oh,
Crystal.
oh my word, Mama Kay, just that you put me in
Thank
the
you.
same category as these wonderful ladies is just amazing. Thank you.
Yes, thank
Um,
you.
Jill wants to know, did you get the organization set up? The
You
set
mean
up,
the
the organization set
the
up.
Haven of Grace? You mean the nonprofit, or do you mean crochet organization? I mean my yarn.
Okay, Jill, can you specify?
She might be talking about
Um,
Haven of Grace. Well, I'll just go ahead and just say
yeah,
both. I mean,
yeah.
oh, you
Thank
both.
you,
Oh, thank
Barb.
you. Um, yeah, the
The
Haven of
nonprofit.
Grace.
The
Yeah, the Haven
nonprofit,
of
yeah.
which is the nonprofit Haven of Grace. The Lord, because when I came up, I was ready to get started. Right? Okay, Lord, what do you want me to
Yes.
do? And he said it's the timing. He'll let me know when it's time to restart that back up again, and it's going to look different than it did before, but it's
Why
still
don't
going to
you
be
explain
helping
to,
and doing.
can you explain what that is? Can you explain
Oh,
what Haven of Grace is?
yeah, when I lived in Alaska before, like 10 years ago, and me and my friend Kathy, the one I stay with now in Alaska, we started our nonprofit to the Lord's leading and everything called Haven of Grace, and it was to help women in prison who were into prostitution and get them out of that life. And when they got out of jail, doing groups. Actually, we went into the prison, and had groups, to talk with them. And then when they came out, we would help them find jobs, find a place to live, all that, the basic stuff. But also had groups where they could come and talk, and we were there for them, that kind of thing. And that's basically what Haven of Grace did. That's what we did. And like I said, when he brought me back up to, he had me come back to Virginia, but he had me come back to Alaska, and I thought it was going to be the same type of thing. Excuse me. But he let me know it's going to look different, but it's going to be still helping, people and ladies. But it's going to, and he'll let me know when it's time. And he said it
Mhm.
could be a little bit so because I was anxious to get started, but if I don't want to start anything and not his timing, because then it's not going to work the way it should. So I'm still waiting on him. But I can see him preparing some foundational things that's going to include Haven of Grace. And so I'm just letting him do his thing, and it'll all come
So,
together.
what do you provide for these ladies? You go into the prison system and
Yeah,
minister to them?
yeah, we did that. We had groups. We actually went into because you have permission and all that to go into the prison. They had a special room where they could come in, and we have groups, and we talk to them. We could do one-on-ones, or we could do a group session, um, things like that. We give them like little cards with scriptures on them, and then they could just talk about what's going on, all that kind of thing.
Okay.
Support.
Now that's when they're in. Do you help them transition into
Yes.
the society? What kinds of things do you would in the past?
Yeah.
Types of things did you have set up for them to
Mm-hmm.
help them transition? Was there any kind of like psychological or counseling help that
Yeah,
was
we would
available to them?
advise them, like we would know who to go to. We'd send them to that person, and we'd have the people set up to go visit with this counselor. And they'll handle the situation.
Right.
We'd have our church they would supported us with the funds, some funds, and we'd have bus passes so they could get a job to get to
Oh
the job.
yeah.
So we'd buy bus passes for them, so they could get to the job that we got
Right.
them or help them
Right.
find,
Right.
that
Mhm.
kind of thing. Um, we'd have the information they needed. Well, where do I go if I want to go to school? Okay, but then we'll go here to this people. We have a list of places, jobs that accepted people who have been in prison, because there's
What a great idea, Setta. I mean,
that
that
kind
was,
of thing.
but I can see how, 10 years changes a lot of stuff too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, people. organizations change
Yeah.
outside. Things have changed probably in that area, and
Mm-hmm.
I can see where the Lord maybe wants to kind of like
Mold something.
mold it something else, not
Mm-hmm.
something else, but in addition, or
In
bring
addition
it
to,
in.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
kind of gave me a little bit of a hint of, it's like we were in training. Me and Kathy were in training doing this, and he did it a certain kind of a way, his way, and we're going to show other people how.
Bye, Laura.
Bye, Laura. He's going to show. We're going to show other people that he showed us, whether it's in a format of a booklet, and having to teach people to have a haven of grace where they are in their
Uh-huh.
community, that kind of
Right.
thing. And that's why I'm like,
Right. Right.
okay, I can see what you're talking about, and
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll come
Exactly.
together.
Right. Right. I love it. I love it. Well, you never know, and somehow,
Mm-hmm.
you never know. Maybe the Lord's going to put crochet right in there, and
Yeah,
He's going
and
to say,
actually,
"Okay, you're going
yeah,
to teach these women how to crochet so that they
that's
can
it.
make things."
Yeah, actually, you are literally a confirmation to me. Me and Dory were literally talking about that when she was here
Isn't
today,
that funny?
and
Oh
that
my!
is so. That's a confirmation that
Oh
literally that is
yeah.
exactly how I was like, hmm, what we were
This is the
talking about.
second thing, though, isn't it, that we've talked about? It's like that's a confirmation.
Yes, I mean, literally, she was just here. We literally just said that, so that's.
That
So
is
I can see you
so
going in that
cool.
direction. How you use this crochet again to
Yeah.
knit and stitch
Knit.
people
Mm,
together.
that's right. I love that. I love that. And maybe the name of the organization will change. Who knows?
Yeah,
Haven of
it's like
Hope and Stitches.
yeah, and the way I also think Haven of Grace is like the the top name, and it's going to be under different ministries with a different subtitle. That's how I.
That's yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
I can
really
see. I
cool.
can see
That's great.
what
That's
he's
great.
doing.
Melanie says, praise God for you both for reaching out and
Aw,
helping people. Hello and God bless. Love to you all. Thank you,
thank
Melanie.
you.
Thank you, sweetheart. So everybody has been so wonderful. Thank you so much for coming and sharing some time with
Thank
me, Setta.
you. Thank you for asking.
I wish I would have had the foreknowledge, before, like
Uh-huh,
2 years ago
uh-huh.
when you were driving through. I said, Kentucky, I'm here, I'm
Yeah.
here. You drove right through Kentucky to
Yeah,
go
I
out
drove right
there.
on the edge of Turkey. Went on.
I know. Yep.
I
Exactly.
did.
I would have done a meetup with you. I
Yeah, that would
probably
have been
would have
awesome.
driven 5 hours too. No, no, I'm
Oh.
just teasing. But I do know that
Mm-hmm.
it's important, to make these connections. And
Mm-hmm.
some of the ladies that are in the group today or in the chat, they didn't know your story, and they got to see a part of you that they maybe not. Oh, get this. Darn it, I missed it.
Hey,
Hi,
Sandy.
Santa. Hi,
Sandy is
Sandy.
she's in that story too.
I know she is. She
Yep, she's in
is.
that travel
You
story.
Sandy, you'll have to watch the replay, hun. Um, and Julie says, thank you for sharing your journey of
Hey,
faith.
Julie. You're welcome.
Um,
You're welcome.
oh, here, yeah. Andrea says teaching them to crochet and it gives them a new skill set. That's
Yeah.
right. And a mechanism. Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So thank you so much, Setta, for sharing. If you want to stay, if you want to hold on and say
Okay,
goodbye
I'll
to
hold
everybody
on.
real quick,
Okay.
and we'll hang out for a couple more minutes. Okay.
Okay.
You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.